Hey everyone, it's me again. This is part two of the basically work drama. Um, so, you know, basically I got called back in or whatever, and I kind of was on guard because I kind of figured something was going to happen, but I wasn't sure exactly what it was. And whenever I walked in there, the atmosphere was just not the same. It wasn't the same place as it was. It used to be enjoyable, and it just used to be a happy place, and it was not the same. And a lot of unhappy employees. It wasn't just me. Shipping was unhappy. Um, because they were understaffed, and they shouldn't have been. That's the thing. They should not have been understaffed. They should have had employees. And the thing is that when people were complaining about not getting the products and stuff, they would sit there and say that it was COVID related and because they didn't have enough staff and everything else. But the thing is, if they would have brought everybody back, they would have had enough people. It was greed. They didn't bring people back because they were greedy, which they should have brought people back. And so they basically, blamed it on COVID and stuff like that, but that wasn't the case. It was not the case at all. It was just, they just, let go of the people that they should have brought back. So, and like I say, there was a lot of unhappy people especially because they saw what was going on. They knew exactly what was going on. Especially with the other manager, the backstabbing, the lying, them not paying attention, people getting raises when other people wasn't getting raises, and stuff like that. It was pure chaos. Nobody really was happy up there, except for the ones that were getting their way. Yeah, they're happy. But, the manager would complain that, he wanted to leave or he didn't like the issue and stuff like that. But he was getting exactly everything that he wanted because, like I say, I have even screenshots of him telling me that he wanted his girlfriend to work up there. Bam, she's working up there now. He wanted to manipulate the boss and everything else. He did that. He's living on high clouds right now, and everybody else is just screwed over. So yeah, and there's a lot of people that, there's some people up there that, complained about it. They was not happy with the way that things were going. But what can you do? You have no HR. It's the bosses, the owners that are doing this. How do you go against people that pay you? What can you do? If they don't listen to you, and if they do what they did to me and did to other people, a lot of people won't say anything because they're scared. And especially after what happened to me, I don't think there's a lot of them that would have said anything because of what happened. But anyways, okay, I went there that Friday. It was July 10th, I want to say it was, because I wanted to go when it was a startup pay period or whatever, because it wasn't no point of me going on a Monday. It would be better for me to start on a Friday. So I went back, and I'm sitting there at my desk, and everything was fine then, and then all of a sudden, the woman owner, she came in there, and she's just talking to me nonchalant, how's your new house and everything was fine, and then she come back around, which was very, 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 very odd, because she don't ever hardly, I'm in a room by myself, there's nobody else in there, and even whenever I was in the other rooms with people and stuff like that, she hardly never came to my desk. She hardly never even bothered me. It was, I mean, I never, the only time we it was just more nonchalant talking, like, hey, how you doing, stuff like that. It was never, she never questioned my work. She never told me what to do or any of this. Well, she came in there and she was like, I was watching a movie. We were allowed to watch movies because what we do is repetitive and we sit down a lot and stuff like that. So it just makes time go by faster, just that. And most of the time, I can't even watch a movie. I'm doing work that I have to pay attention to, so it's more like background noise for me anyway. And most of the time I listen to music anyway, but so yeah, we were allowed to watch movies. Not once, I got there, and not once did the owner, because I talked to the owner the night, well, not the night, but that time before. Not once did he say, oh, well, we changed some rules, we changed things, and, y'all not allowed to watch movies anymore or anything like that. Not once did the manager say, oh, well, we're not watching movies anymore. My husband, he works there. He should know if they changed protocol that you can't watch movies and stuff. But guess what? Nothing was changed. I mean, they basically, nobody told me anything about not watching movies. And so she's like, oh, well, we don't watch movies anymore. And which was fine. I was like, okay, I didn't know. Nobody told me. And I mean, it was the truth. I mean, nobody told me. Sorry. Nobody told me. So I'm like, okay. And then she was like telling me like how many kits I'm supposed to make or whatever. And really, honestly, and I hate to say it, but the number that she was saying is just, it wasn't, I don't know. She don't know what we do. I mean, she has no clue about the things or how much. I mean, I've done my job for over a year or something. I basically know what we need and how much we need and stuff like that. I'm very confident in my job. I'm very confident to know what I need and what I have to have. And she's trying to say, oh, well, you got to do this. And then after 3 o'clock, you got to, and see, y'all got to realize we leave early. So, I mean, I can't remember if we left at 2 or 3, but we left early because we got there early. We got there before everybody did, like around 5 or 6. So we left early. So I couldn't really do anything after that, or whatever. But, and another thing too, you got to realize I have a lot of kits that I have to do, plus prep work that I have to do. And you also got to remember too, they had technically 3 people and probably people in the shipping doing my job. So, yeah, I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like, and she's so hell-bent on boxes. For some reason, I don't know if she thinks that boxes is downgrading or something, but no, I know what it is. She wants me to go in there and do boxes so I can't get my other work done. And so she could sit there and say I'm not producing what I'm supposed to. And I'm not stupid. I know exactly what they were doing. I mean, even the other boss told me that, I would sometimes have to do boxes. He didn't say every day. And he, and I even heard from the other girls that the ones that were there, they didn't do boxes every day. I mean, yeah, if, I can understand if they weren't there and somebody needed to do boxes, that's fine. And I was even told by the other girl, because shipping, whenever they lose, whenever they don't have a job to do or something, that's what they do. That's their job, is doing boxes. So, technically, if I go in there and do boxes in the afternoon, I'm taking their job. I mean, there's just no other way to look at it. And there's so many people in there in the afternoon that you can't do that. I mean, it's not possible. And, I mean, you can, but, I mean, it's just, I have more work to do. I have other things that I need to do, and it's just, her whole thing was boxes. So, and I know what it was. She wanted me to not be able to do my work. I mean, I'm not stupid. She started on the boxes thing, and, so we do, other things, which is kind of funny. she's like, we do other things, after a certain time or whatever. And in her mind, she don't even know, she don't even say anything about these other kits. It's doing this one kit. And basically, after you finish this one kit, you go off and you do other things. She don't realize that I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kits, plus 6 kits have not all 6 kits, but some of the 6 kits have other things that you have to do for prep work, and it's very time consuming and everything else. And I love my job. I love doing it. I'm not complaining about that. I love doing it. But my thing is I can't not do that. I mean, I have to do what I have, to do my job. And so, and I was like, and I even talked to the manager, and I'm like, what she wants is not doable. I mean, she realize that I have other things that I need to do? And then also, too, does she realize that, the kits that I do to 200 to 300, maybe 250 to 300 a day. That is a day, unless I'm so caught up that I don't have to do it. But I do those a day. And what she said was less than that. But I did more because, one, we were getting behind on everything. And before COVID, I had it so stocked up that I can miss a day or two or even a week, and they probably wouldn't even have to make any more until, they probably wouldn't worry, because I had both of the bins filled, and then I had boxes full of them. And I did that because I wanted them to, if I had to take off or anything else, I wanted to make sure that they had everything that they needed. And so I had a system, and the system worked. We were never without. Everything worked. And then all of a sudden this changed. I mean, it just all of a sudden changed for me. Everybody else could go do whatever they wanted, but it changed for me. So I just basically, I was like, fine, and I even, like I say, I wrote the manager and told him, like, look, this is, and he even agreed, he's like, those towels is not even going to last that long, and everything else. And, it was just, that day was just very, kind of like an eye-opener to what probably was fixing to, go on or whatever. So, it was the weekend. I got that, I started Friday, and it was the weekend. So, we got there that Monday. So, Monday comes along, and I was like, I thought of it, I was like, hey, what I'll do, since she wants me to do boxes, I'll do boxes in the morning when there's nobody there, because it's nobody in there. And it would be, and then they would have boxes during the day and wouldn't have to worry about it. And then in the afternoon, they could, do the boxes that they needed or whatever. And, and we never had an issue, like, if we wanted to do something or whatever, it was like, nobody ever really questioned the things that we did. It was just like, if you're being productive and you're doing it, then what does it matter if I do it in the morning or if I do it in the afternoon? I don't understand that. So, I do the boxes, and then I go and then I do my job. I do what I was supposed to. Well, she comes in. We ran out of towels that Friday or whatever, I think. And then she comes in Monday with the towels. And I have this recorded, by the way, because I was getting paranoid. Because also, too, I found out that they didn't take away movies. It was just for me. The shipping told me that nobody ever said anything to them about, them not being able to watch movies and stuff. And I was the only one that wasn't allowed, I guess, because I was the only one that was told. I mean, nobody else knew. Even the manager said, well, you can watch movies and do your job. It was only for me. And so they basically said that, I can't watch movies, but I guess everybody else can. So that had me on guard. And so she came in, and I started recording or whatever, and she was like, asking me, telling me about the kit. She's like, these towels last, and even me and the manager laughed about it because he's like, those ain't even gonna last a week. I mean, a couple of days. She don't understand. She has no clue. So, she comes in there and she basically just like saying all this stuff and everything else. And I tried to explain to her, I was like, well, I did boxes this morning, and I said I did do boxes. I said I did boxes this morning and everything else. And she's like, oh no, you do boxes in the afternoon. Like, what does it matter if I do boxes in the morning, if I do boxes in the afternoon? And the thing is, I'm leaving in the afternoon. So, I'm still being productive. I'm still doing what she asked. But it wasn't good enough. So, and not once did I holler at her. And this will be irrelevant later on, but not once did I holler at her. I was just trying to explain to her what I did, and then it wasn't good enough, and I basically, I'm like, okay, I don't know. It's just everything that I say, she contradicts. It don't matter what I say, she contradicts it. And so after that, I knew what I was in for, because they didn't want us there. And I think I kind of got the fact that, they were fixing to make it really hard on me, so I'd quit. So, we didn't talk then, and then later on, it was still in July. I want to say it was still in July. I don't think it was in August. It was still in July. We ran out of squeegees that I needed, so I can't make kits. It's not my fault. It's nothing I can do about it. What I did is what I always do. Since I couldn't make the kits, I went, and since we had the towels, I did the towels up. So whenever we did get the squeegees in and stuff, we could make the kits really quick. And I even talked to the manager about it, and even asked him if that was okay, because I never, that's the thing though, I never had to ever question what I did before. And I have bad anxiety. I never had confidence in me or my work or any of that. And yeah, it was to the point to where I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. I really didn't know what to do. And I never had that issue up there. And so, basically, we got behind because we didn't have what we needed. So, since we was, out of all that stuff, the manager had me to do some stuff in production, which was fine. I either did it at my desk, or I went in production and did it in the mornings or whatever. Staying productive like she wanted. She says, be productive. Do different stuff. I'm doing different stuff. And even the manager even said for me to do it. So I'm sitting there doing it and everything else. And then I go and I do my job that I'm supposed to. And then there was times that I did go do boxes. I can't do boxes every day. I'm just sorry. It was just not physically, but it is not just, with what I do, there's just no way I could sit there and do boxes every day. If I could do them in the morning, yeah, I didn't have no problem with that, because there's nobody there. And then also, I could do it really quick. And then, because I could use the thing that they use, I could do it really quick, and then I could get my work done even before people even got there. So it was just better for me to do them in the morning. But she didn't want that. So, and with everything getting behind and stuff, I had to, I had to work really hard to get everything caught up and everything else. And a lot of this was before I even, everything was getting behind and stuff before I even got there. They were, not getting stuff in and stuff like that. So it wasn't nothing I could do. And I was being productive. I was doing what I was supposed to. So the day that they got squeegees in and stuff, another thing, I'll backtrack, but the day that they got, before that, my mind went blank. Give me a minute. Well, the day before they got squeegees and stuff, we were making up or whatever. Oh, I know now. I knew it would come to me when I wasn't thinking about it. The manager had his girlfriend come help me do, bottles and stuff like that, which was normal. We've always had it to where we do normal stuff and everything else. And basically, it was like, no. I wasn't supposed to have nobody help me. And the thing is, I didn't even ask for her help. He's the one that came and brought her in there to do it. I didn't ask for it. He just brought her in there. And she didn't even want to be there in the first place because she had attitude the whole time she was there. You could tell by the way she was throwing the bottles and the thing, I mean, she didn't want to be in there with me. So, yeah, she didn't want to be in there with me. And, so he, all that, he's supposed to be, it was okay for me to have help because he's the one that brought people in there to help. Well, and we've always had help. I mean, that was just everybody did for everybody. So, whenever we got the squeegees in and everything else, we started making, the kits and everything else, trying to get caught up. And one of the girls in shipping came in there and asked me if I had something for her to do because she didn't have nothing to do. And I'm like, sure. I didn't need her help. But I'm like, sure. I was like, you can come help you can seal the bags if you want to. And she's like, yeah. So, I think it was seal bags or I don't know. She was doing something. And it's not that I needed her help. But, it was just common for them not to have anything to do and them come to me and ask, and I gave them something to do. That was just our thing. I mean, we've always done that. And so, after that, and while she's doing that, she's watching a movie and talking on her phone. She's doing both, which was common. I mean, with this person, it was an everyday thing. She was on her phone from the time she got there to the time that she left. But nobody batted an eye. And I know dang well people knew what she was doing. I mean, because she'd be talking, and then people answer her, and she'd completely ignore them because she's on her phone talking. And nobody says anything. Nada. Not at all. I mean, she actually, I think, had 2 phones. So, yeah. So, there's that. But she was watching a movie. I wish I would have took video of it or a picture of it, but the thing is, I didn't want to get her involved in this chaos, because I'm not a backstabber. I'm not a tattletale. And obviously, it don't get me nowhere. So I'm throwing it all out there now. I don't care. But so she's sitting there watching a movie or whatever, and I see the woman manager or owner coming, down, because I have I wouldn't call it office, but it's, my area is in like the main front area, and it's got windows, and her office is way down in another different area of the thing, because her and her husband own a different company or whatever. This is not the only company they own. So I seen her coming down, and I don't know, in my gut I knew that something was fixing to happen. I mean, I did. I knew it was. And so I was like, well, I'll I asked my husband at lunch, because I seen her looking, and I asked my husband at lunch, I said, if she takes me to her office, because I thought she was going to take me down to her office, can I ask someone to go with me? Because technically she should have somebody with me. It shouldn't be just me and her. And he's like, I don't know. You maybe. And see, he's not the manager no more, so he couldn't do anything or whatever. And so I'm like, well, I have a feeling that she's going to call me to our office or whatever. So I go in and I go sit down and start working. And the girl said, yeah, she was in, said the owner was in there and asked her what she was doing in there. And of course, just not, not even thinking. She's like, we got behind and I'm helping her, catch up. And it wasn't my fault that we got behind. What happened was we lost, we didn't have the stuff to do. It wasn't none of my fault at all that we were behind. It wasn't that I couldn't produce what she claimed I should produce. It was the fact that we didn't have the stuff to produce the stuff. And that's what she would not understand. And of course, it did sound like, oh, well, she, but it wasn't that. It wasn't that. I mean, if she would listen to people, she would, or pay attention to what's actually going on, which, don't get me wrong, manager might have said something like, oh, well, she's not, trust me, I don't know what he has said to them, but the fact is that if they would have paid attention and actually realized, or even maybe even asked them, that the reason why we were behind was because we didn't have the stuff that they was supposed to have. And so, and right when she said that, I knew. So she basically comes in there and she's like, we need to have a meeting or whatever. And I have it recorded. I recorded it. And so, I'm like, yeah, sure. And so, she's like, we can go into the other owner's office and talk or whatever. I was like, okay. So, we start walking, and I look at my husband like, I told you so. I knew it was going to happen. So, I'm going to stop it right here, and I'm going to go ahead and do part 3 with me and her, because I'm trying to do this like in 30 minutes because it takes so long for it to load up or whatever. So, stay tuned for part 3. I'm just going to do it now. So, here it goes. More drama. So, see you later.